here with his body is telling him. That's how I filter everything through. I see everything from that perspective. And most everybody else sees it from, wow, that's a good idea. I have pain. I want the pain to go away, without honoring what the message is in that pain. So that's a big piece right there, is to wake up and just flip how you view what's happening out there. I mean, that just takes a 2% shift in the world, changes there.
But I have a question, because I'm with you 1,000,000%, Jeff. The only thing is, everything that I'm researching on how easy it is to program the subconscious mind, just basically by repetition, and then because they've inherited most of the paradigms that they believe as beliefs from their parents, and it's going back through time. It's like basically like a veil matrix. How do you, like, you're really conscious, one of the most conscious men I ever met in my life. Steve is very conscious. I'm pretty damn conscious. But we're the exception. How do you take the average person who's filtering what they see on the TV? The TV already put them in alpha. The flicker rate is an exact science. They're using emotionally charged series of events with usually no logic, using male-female roles. The male is identifying with the role, the male, the female with the female. And then you understand the cascade I'm saying. So
well, it's the opposite now, Doc.
Well, yeah, but like what he's saying is, he's describing like an observer effect, someone that's pretty darn sharp. Like you say, it's only 2%, but how do you get them? How can we do it? I just told him to stop watching TV.
Yeah. Well, I think that starts with establishing a reference. People have to get an internal reference rather than an external reference. If someone feels their internal reference, and you can call it stillness, the ability just to be still and feel your physiology and be present, the power of now, like Eckhart Tolle speaks of. You know, that's the still. When you have that place of stillness, you're not going to be subtle. You're not going to be jacked around by those external influences, because you're awake. So it's hard to stay awake, but it's easy to stay that awake if you find your internal reference and you keep anchoring yourself back to it. And again, it comes from having the body be up and open.
Yeah, I would add something to that, which is, and this is after doing over 10,000 shows and being actually present in them, is that everybody came here with one single thing that they came here to complete. And I call it a passion, or I call it something that you wanted when you were a kid, and then you forgot about it because you got distracted by everybody and everything. But sooner or later, that's within us. There's like a divine game of life that begins when we are born. And sooner or later, because we all get distracted for a while, I'm sure, Dr. Jeff, when you were 12, you weren't like the way you are right now, correct? I know I wasn't. I wasn't awake. I wasn't conscious. I forgot. Okay, so as soon as somebody is able and ready to find it again, because it's not lost, it's still within us. I know, because this is true for me. I'm just sharing my own experience. That's the reference point. Because it's just like, if you are an alcoholic, you can't stop drinking and not put something in its place. It's just like when a star is gone, there's darkness. When the star is born, the darkness goes away. Correct? So we can't expect these people that are not awake or not conscious yet to be able to have a reference point until they really figure out who they are.
Well, the trick, and I know both of you understand this, and it's pretty hard to refute. People learn, like Jeff put me onto a guy years ago named Stuart Wilde. He's a brilliant British metaphysician.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. Well, he says, people learn from collapse. And the general trick is going to be, it'll be some kind of a crisis, internal crisis or external crisis, that's needed in most people before they'll actually wake up. Some kind of major, even Eckhart Tolle said, some kind of major suffering or a real big shock got to hit them in order to rattle the cage enough for them to, and that's a damn shame. I'm sort of worried about what the next big shock's going to be to try to wake up the American people, and especially the guys, because the guys are getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and I'm really concerned about it.
Well, Steve, when you said you have to, know who you are to find that reference, well, what if we just rotated and said, once you find the reference, then you'll find out who you are? I think it can go that way too. It's not a linear; it's a quantum. They say you have to still the waters to see the reflection. That's, to me, my interpretation is stilling the waters is being in stillness, and then you feel who shows up, and then the heart's desire will come back, because the chatter slows down up here. And I don't think, Grant, hopefully it is not gonna take a huge collapse. I don't think it has to if we begin to wake up a little bit at a time, like what we're doing here tonight. The more people wake up, it would mitigate the need for a collapse to wake people up, like a 9/11 or an Aurora thing. That woke people up for a little while, and then that was a collapse, but then they go right back. It takes every day. Every day,
yeah.
Be vigilant.
The only thing that I worry about, I mean, we're all like I tell my students if I go to teach the sword, I already have my path. Like, we have our paths, and there are many other men and people, they have their path. But what I get a little concerned with, and that I don't know how to, I guess it'll be whatever it is. It's like what Steve says, like, say this shooting, and then the media jumps right on it. And the way I understand subconscious programming now, and the already existing program, the way people go into the group mentality, and there's like that whole morphogenic field is really strong. I don't know if it won't take something really major to be able to wake it up. I'm always hoping that our kind of shows and meditation groups and will raise the morphogenic field to a critical mass, and then there'll be like a quantum shift. But I sometimes...
Well, it's just the 100th monkey. We need the 100th radical man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said to Dr. Grant, we need 1%. So we need 36 million people to get behind consciousness, and then it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
That's not a big number.
No. I think a lot of them are closets out there, and they just need a little bit of encouragement, just a little bit of a shift.
Yeah, to come out.
Yeah.
That's why I love this show. I mean, this is